Greetings folks, and welcome to another 8/16/32-bit. I'm Rob, and today it's my birthday. That's right, I've hit the magical age of 47. I'm not sure what's magical about it, but I'm calling it magical. And today I'm looking at a couple of games which have special resonance for me. These are games that I purchased on or around my birthday for my birthday, and they stuck with me. Now I'm doing two main games here, and there's also going to be a third bonus game at the end, which will just be touched upon much more briefly. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the first of these birthday games, and let me show you the game and explain why it resonates with me to this day. So, the first game we have here is Turrican 2, specifically the ZX Spectrum version. Now, by the time this was released, I did already have a Master System, but I was still using my Spectrum, and you know, this was realistically one of the last big releases for the Spectrum, certainly as a full price title. And you know, I remember seeing the previews in Your Sinclair and Sinclair User, and then the reviews, and I thought to myself, damn it, I have to have this game. And I went out and bought it. This was literally the last full price, brand new Spectrum game that I purchased during the machine's lifespan. I spent, I think it was $10.99 in my local independent video game shop, Microbyte, in the Manchester Arndale Centre, and I bought this. And you know, it doesn't look the greatest now. There's a lot of colour clash going on. It can be difficult to see yourself and the enemies at times, but you know, this was one of the last hurrahs for the Specky, and I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it to this day, even though it is not even close to being the best version of Turrican 2. You know, you can't deny that. It's still kind of fun, and it really does sort of take the Specky to its limits. You know, this is a game that only ran on 128K Spectrums, and it still required a multi-load, so you had to load each level in individually, which meant, you know, playing the game could be somewhat of a test of patience at times. But it was just fun, and as I said, it was that last hurrah. It was the final go for the Spectrum, really. You know, it was a big multi-platform title. There was a Spectrum version, and yeah, the game itself, it's a bit slow, it's a bit jerky. Like I said, there's core clash, you can't see the enemies all the time, but you can enjoy it. It's definitely Turrican 2, you know. And like I said, at the time, Specky games were dying out, and I loved my Spectrum, even with a Master System to play on, and you know, getting a Mega Drive on the horizon. You know, it's even then I had a nostalgia for it. And you know, this was 1991. We were still, you know, Spectrum was still an active machine, but I had that nostalgia for it, and that nostalgia's never left me. And this game, just because of the when I bought it and why I bought it and how I bought it, it resonates with me, and it gives me a really warm feeling inside. You know, it's, yeah, the last hurrah for the Spectrum, the last hurrah for my Spectrum. Damn it, I love this game. Even if other people say it's possibly the worst version of Turrican 2, I damn well love it. It's awesome. It's Turrican 2. So here we have Zombies Ate My Neighbours, or just Zombies if you're in the UK like I was, for the Mega Drive. Now, I purchased this game with some money that I'd been given for my birthday, and the particular year that I purchased this, I distinctly recall going to Toys R Us because we were in one of our local shopping centres, and it was headed towards Christmas, and we were doing some Christmas shopping, and with my birthday very obviously being at the start of December, you know, I could go and get games while we were out doing Christmas shopping. So I did, and I got Zombies Ate My Neighbours because I was a teenage boy, and frankly at the time, and well, to this day, I love horror movies, and alongside titles like Splatterhouse 2, this allowed me to combine my love of horror movies with my love of video games. And I distinctly remember buying this. It was the whole Toys R Us experience of going to the shelves and seeing which game you wanted and getting the little paper tag and taking it to the till and paying for it and being given your receipt, and then having to go to the collections desk and have them check the receipt and go and collect the game for you from behind the counter. You know, it was a whole experience, and funnily enough, it was the only time I ever did that in Toys R Us. For all the years that Toys R Us existed, that was it. Now, I will say, obviously, you can see some graphical glitches here. This is emulator footage because I don't have my Mega Drive set up at the moment. So obviously the game didn't quite look like this when I got it. It actually, you know, ran properly. But I digress. And I love this game. It was a nice bit of top-down, almost gauntlet type of play, and you know, it's just fun. It's a great fun game. It's got a great kitsch B-movie horror movie vibe to it, and it's fun. You know, it worked for me at the time. It still works for me now, and every time I boot it up, I go back to being that sort of 14-year-old guy, you know, walking into Toys R Us to purchase a game and thinking, what am I going to get, and seeing this and going, oh yeah, I'll have that. And yeah, it was just, it's such a cozy memory for me. Now, obviously, you know, that's why I'm looking at these games, and this one particularly resonates on that level. And yeah, it's hard to put into words just how deeply this sits within me as something to be remembered and to be all nostalgic over. But it does. Well, enough of this because I'm starting to ramble. Let's move on to the bonus game. Now, I'm just very briefly going to touch on The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy here, because whilst I did receive this game for my birthday, I didn't actually buy this myself. It was a present, and it was actually the first time anybody had bought me a game for my Game Boy. Prior to that, any games that I had for my Game Boy I purchased myself, and this was a title I really looked forward to, and it was actually a massive surprise to be presented with it on my birthday. I was over the moon, frankly, about it. And yeah, it's Legend of Zelda. It's, you know, this and the SNES version, I have to say, in my opinion, are the best versions of Zelda. And I have fond memories of sitting there at night with a crappy clip-on light trying to make the screen stay visible while I played Zelda, and yeah, it was just fun, you know. But this one, the nostalgia feels are slightly different because it wasn't one that I went out and purchased, but I still get that nostalgic buzz from it. But anyway, there we have it. They're the games which have special nostalgic memories around this time of year, which is December for me. Now, obviously, you can leave your comments below. Tell me about any games that you have particularly fun nostalgic memories for, linked to birthdays or other special occasions. Tell me what you think about the games that I've covered in this video. As usual, feel free to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button and then ring that bell to be notified of new uploads. If you want to support the channel, there are links in the description below to my Ko-fi page, to my Patreon, or to a YouTube membership. Big shout out to Leftback and Old Scott Retro as usual for being my long-term supporters. Much love to you guys. And yeah, I'm Rob. This has been 81632-bit, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.